2017 had been a very good year. I mean, one of the biggest moments of Joe's reign was destroying yet another English Grand Slam attempt at the Aviva Stadium in March of 2017. They were looking to back up the slam they'd won under Eddie Jones the previous year, and I think they fully expected to come to Dublin and win. And while the scoreline looked reasonably close, it was a game that you never really felt Ireland were going to lose that day, and that was a huge day for Ireland. And then they went to South Africa and they won down there for the first time. And of course, we haven't even mentioned Soldier Field in 2016 and everything. So there was no reason for Ireland to be going to 2018 feeling that they were not going to be competitive in any way.
Within reason, there was a level of hype about the team, about the performance of the team, and coming into 2018, I think it was merited that we were favourites.
And then it was nearly the Grand Slam that wasn't. We went down to a French side that weren't really doing too much, but they put it up to us. Really did. A massive defensive effort was needed to keep them at bay. It looked like it was slipping away, and this amazing drop goal.
I think this was Sexton's moment in particular, and is rightly considered among those Hall of Fame moments in Irish rugby.
I do remember thinking, maybe midway through those 40-odd phases before the drop goal, that we've waited so long for this day and it's all gone to pot on day one. Approximately
42 phases under wet conditions, including a risky crossfield kick that was executed perfectly, where we surrendered possession. Had we lost possession, we'd have lost the game.
There was just no way you could possibly imagine them overcoming the odds sufficiently to go through the phases required to get to where they needed to get to even attempt a drop goal. But to be in the front row and be in the comfortable position when Johnny Sexton did drop into the pocket and now that drop goal is, it was an indescribable moment. I think that was one of the great days in Irish sport.
It was an incredible start in terms of momentum. We'd had a very poor performance. Had we lost on the back of the previous 18 months, it would have been a huge blip. While the performances were mixed, for some reason I think the morning of the Ireland-England game in Twickenham, there was quite a positive mood and quite a confident mood.
Everything had been coming down to it. The championship had been won with a game in hand, which was very, very nice, but we all know it was the Grand Slam is what we wanted to do. Hadn't footage appeared of Eddie Jones taking the mickey out of the Irish, in some after-dinner speech. I was over there at the game. We were playing the Legends game the night before, and it was a little bit nippy, and the atmosphere was absolutely fantastic. I know you never can say it, but it felt like it was at least 50-50 Irish-English at the game. That's one thing that the Joe Schmidt era has done, is that it really has gathered the support of the public in behind it. The game just kicked off superbly. You knew within minutes of the game that Ireland were there to win.
Possibly one of the coldest days I've ever experienced while being at work. It snowed pretty much for the whole game. The cold didn't really matter because your heart was warmed by the brilliant performance that we put on that day. And I don't think it was in any doubt at any stage from when we got those first couple of tries, when Gary Ringrose got the first try. From then on we just built, and the irony of Jacob Stockdale scoring his try in a piece of ground that was only there because Eddie Jones decided that the pitch should be elongated, which is an even funnier aspect to it. But it was a day that went exactly as you would have written the script, as you would have hoped it to have gone. It went exactly that way.
It was Baltic weather conditions, and I had a poor wardrobe choice in the day. Just wore a t-shirt and a small jacket. So an elderly English supporter, a lovely lady who was stood behind me, could see my hands shivering trying to hold the microphone. A couple of minutes later, her husband came down with a Union Jack and draped it around me. A little tongue-in-cheek, but nonetheless, I decided to go ahead and wear it because I was that cold. So I'm glad there is no photographic evidence of it as I was commentating on a Grand Slam win, but I was draped in full Union colours, yeah. It
was a real combination of what Joe had been doing with the team to that point, that you had a mixture of huge experience in the team and also young guys who would really announce themselves on the international scene, and all absolutely in top shape at that moment in time. Oh, I celebrated as every man celebrating St. Patrick's Day would. The English are actually a really good supporter. There's no begrudgment in it. They knew they were beaten on the day by a better team, and they joined in the festivities. So yeah, a good day was had by all.
Keith Wood was there, O'Driscoll was there, O'Gara was there, and needless to say, when they're around, there was a hell of a lot of supporters there. So there was a huge shindig had down in Fulham that night, and memorable night.
It's up there with the most significant days. It's up there with Cardiff 2009. It's up there with Soldier Field. The circumstances around going to London on Patrick's Day and winning the Grand Slam will probably never be repeated. So for that reason, it's as significant an afternoon as anything we've had in the professional year anyway, I would say.